Here's a peek at what guests had to say after the show.
Okay, we're back on the internet, and look, we got the two scientists on this. It's a good thing IQ doesn't weigh.
No kidding.
Oh man, we'd be way over here.
Hey, Bill, you're no dummy.
No, I'm no dummy, exactly. I am actually a dummy on this, on the areas where you're an expert. But let's ask Dr. Lyman, somebody as an expert on nuclear proliferation. How do you say that word, Doc? No, proliferation. How likely is it that a nuclear weapon will be used in the next 30 years? Oh, well, that's not really a scientific question. That's more a political question. The aftermath is a scientific question. I got a scientific question for you. I've heard that if India and Pakistan, who both have nuclear weapons and who might use them, because they're just fucking nuts enough to try.
If the cricket match goes badly enough.
But they each have about together about 100 nuclear. I've heard that if they set off 100 nuclear weapons, goodbye Earth.
Well, certainly that is...
Always a happy question for you. Always a happy
Measured
question
response.
for you.
A nuclear exchange in South Asia would certainly be a bad day. There's no question.
But I mean,
it's a bad day. That's all.
But if 100 nuclear bombs went off, I heard that it would create a kind of nuclear winter, screw up the atmosphere, and that we'd all die within a year or so.
Well, I think there are some uncertainties about that, but I wouldn't want to do the experiment.
It makes the fish look good, is what I'm saying.
So, you know, those climate models that we use today, by models I mean mathematical things, really go back to Carl Sagan and nuclear winter. And
Carl Sagan, he was our professor at Cornell, right?
So people who
Did you take his course?
I did.
Yeah, he didn't show up much, to your point, right? That's exactly, I had it too. He didn't really show up.
Well, he did when I was there. Seriously, man.
We were there at the same time.
Well, a year ahead of you, because the big turning point for him was with the launch of Voyager.
I think the big turning point for him was doing The Tonight Show.
Yeah, well, he did that a lot. And he would come in and we would sing the song. But he, in 1977, that's when Voyager was launched, and it just left the solar system officially.
I missed
Coincidence?
I missed
Perhaps.
Is there such a thing as coincidence, doctors?
Yeah.
Of course. It was a trick question. No, it's faith. Of course there's such a thing as coincidence. Okay, will Voyager 1 entering interstellar space, what do you think need to be the next steps in human space exploration?
Ooh. So, there are two questions. No, do you know I have a day job? I'm the head of the Planetary Society, which was started by Carl Sagan. I'm CEO now. So,
Does that pay?
A little bit. When we turn the corner, we're growing for the first time in 14 years. So,
we should pay scientists more and singers less.
But people love singing. It's free market. No, but here's the thing. There are two questions that trouble us all.
Sing, you know.
Well,
Are you twerking hard or hardly twerking, Doc?
There are two questions that trouble us all. Where did we come from? And are we alone? And if you meet somebody who says, I've never asked those two questions, they're lying. Everybody has wondered that. Where did I come from? Am I alone? If you want to answer those questions.
No, I think an even more basic question is, why is there anything?
That's so cool. That is the greatest question.
No, really, it always gets back to that.
And so get this.
Why is there
God
anything?
created it.
We are.
Because God created it.
There, that's done. Well, here, let me just
This
get.
is
Let me
why
check
it's
that
so
out.
hard to.
Did you guys smoke weed together at Cornell?
But it is an astonishing thing. No, it is an astonishing thing that we are made of exploded stars. We are made of stardust. And if
We are stardust.
Star stuff.
And we've got to.
Well, Star Stuff with Carl Sagan,
Right,
but
right.
Stardust is
I
a
see.
kind of a happy song.
Okay.
So it is really, if that doesn't fill you with reverence, that we are at least one of the ways that the universe knows itself. That is quite an insight. And that is a result of science, especially astronomy. And so the missions to these planets, especially Mars, may very well, in the next decade, dare I say it,
But Doc,
change the world.
Why do fire alarm batteries always die at 4 a.m.? Can't we get to a more basic question?
Mine just did that. So I'll tell you why.
Doc,
I'll tell
it's
you
too
why.
big and making my head
We
explode.
engineers have done our best, and we tell you, please replace the batteries regularly. Blah, 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 and you read the thing, and you throw it
Lick the mic on the VCR.
So we're doing our best. It's thorium.
Let's get
Where do
to
you
it.
get thorium? Not so easy. We all
Thorium. Oh, I tried to get it. I couldn't.
Americium.
I got that cheap. It's so cut with baby laxative. The thorium I get, it's like it gets you high for like a half hour. It totally sucks. Michael Steele, do you think the Republican presidential candidate in 2016 will support same-sex marriage? Good political question.
That is a cool one.
It's a very good political question, and I think likely.
I'll say this: if he does,
Probably.
he won't in the primaries.
Won't in the prime. That's where I was
cannot
going.
do it in the primaries.
That's where I was going. Won't in the primary. If it does in the primary, just
He would have to have an evolution between the primaries.
and he would.
And he would.
And he would. No,
But
but I think that issue.
Many Democrats have had that same
They had that
evolution.
same. It was hysterical. In 24 hours, they had that evolution.
And you know how
in some
they always do it with, they use their kids as cover.
I know, is that?
My kids have gay friends, and they came over for Thanksgiving dinner, and none of them tried to leap across the table and fuck me. This gay thing is totally cool.
Hey, Bill, it's
a process.
It's a flashback to when having a black friend was popular. You know,
Right.
it's like, I have a black friend, so therefore, But
Hey, I had a black friend when it wasn't popular.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I think that that issue is going to be one that will actually be a sleeper in the Republican primary, because it's going to be an undercurrent, because there are a lot of young Republicans especially who have been pushing.
What?
Yeah, no, seriously. A lot of young Republicans, a lot of young millennial Republicans have been pushing the party on this issue. So I think those voices are going to be there.
All right, Matt, how do you get prosecutors interested in Wall Street? Well, I got to say, Wall Street got their man, Spitzer.
Right.
The one guy who knew how to keep an eye on Wall Street, got lumped in with Wiener's dick, and now he's.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's why he lost.
Yeah, I was really sad that
Dick
he
fatigue.
didn't win. But you're absolutely right. I mean, he took on Wall Street, and it's impossible to win an election in New York if you take on the financial services industry. And I mean, it would be like taking on all the studios here in LA and trying to win an election here. It's just not doable.
Right.
And it's just sad that he didn't win.
So the Wall Street backed his opponent, guy who doesn't fuck prostitutes?
Everybody back. I mean, yeah, exactly.
They were
The
high end,
newspapers.
though, too, right? It was New York stuff. It was
Just
40.
your average
Yeah.
prostitute is high end.
So what do you get for that? I mean, well, I guess that's been an old question.
What do you mean, what do you get?
What do you get for $4,000 an hour? I've often wondered. Engineer.
That's a good question.
No, but like in aerospace,
What do you get?
the reason parts
Same
are,
as downtown.
the reason parts are so expensive for airplanes is they're certified. This one's been. This one's the right mixture of aluminum. It's been heat treated the right way. It's been cut in this machine.
Right,
It's
we call them nuclear grade.
great nuclear grade. Like 316.
Let's let the two scientists talk about whores for a minute. All right, we gotta go. Thank you very much.
Real Time with Bill Maher, Friday night at 10. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com.